Summary and Guide to Happy by Derren Brown. Have you ever set a major life goal, a dream job, the perfect relationship, a financial target, believing its achievement would unlock lasting happiness, only to find the satisfaction fleeting once you arrived? In the modern world, we are bombarded with messages that happiness is a destination we can reach through positive thinking, relentless achievement, and the accumulation of status or possessions. But what if this very pursuit is what makes us miserable? Derren Brown's Happy. Why More or Less? Everything is Absolutely Fine is not a conventional self-help book. Brown, a celebrated British mentalist and illusionist, uses his deep understanding of psychology and narrative to deconstruct our cultural myths about happiness. He then rebuilds a more durable, profound sense of well-being using the ancient practical wisdom of Stoic and Epicurean philosophy. This book is a profound exploration that shifts the goal from feeling happy to living well, arguing that tranquility and fulfillment arise not from controlling the world around us, but from mastering our judgments and narratives within it. This guide will walk you through the core insights of Happy, structured to first dismantle the barriers to happiness and then build a philosophical foundation for a more resilient and contented life. Part 1. Deconstructing the Modern Happy. Identifying the barriers. Brown begins by challenging the foundational pillars of contemporary happiness culture. He argues that several widely accepted ideas are not just ineffective, but are active obstacles to genuine well-being, the toxicity of positive thinking. Brown directs significant criticism toward the positive thinking industry, exemplified by works like The Secret. He identifies this philosophy as a form of magical thinking, the belief that concentrated hope or affirmation can directly manifest desires in the external world. This mindset is problematic because it overpromises and leads to shame. When desired outcomes, like wealth or fame, fail to materialize through positive thought alone, individuals often blame themselves for not thinking positively enough, creating cycles of guilt and inadequacy. It ignores random chance. It downplays the immense role of luck and circumstance, suggesting we have total control over outcomes we simply cannot command. It misplaces focus. It directs energy outward in an attempt to bend reality rather than inward toward cultivating a robust and adaptable character. The hedonic treadmill of desire and ambition. A central psychological concept in the book is the hedonic treadmill. This is the self-repeating cycle where achieving a desire brings temporary pleasure, which quickly fades, leading to boredom and a new desire. We chase the next promotion, the newer car, or a larger home, mistaking these for sources of happiness. Brown explains that this treadmill is often powered by comparison and the need to impress others, placing our self-worth in external, unstable validations. True happiness, he suggests, cannot be found in this endless cycle of wanting and acquiring. The destructive nature of anger. When our desires are frustrated or our positive thinking fails, anger often follows. Brown identifies anger as the single emotion most destructive to happiness. While it may feel justified, anger typically clouds communication, escalates conflicts, and fails to resolve the underlying issue satisfactorily. It represents a loss of internal control, allowing external events to dictate our emotional state, the very opposite of the tranquility Stoicism promotes. Part 2. Reconstructing a Durable Happy, the Philosophical Foundation. Having cleared away the unhelpful modern myths, Brown turns to antiquity to provide a sturdier foundation. He finds particular resonance with Stoicism, a philosophy not of cold detachment, but of profound resilience and clear-sighted engagement with reality. The Stoic cornerstones of happiness. Brown distills key Stoic principles that form the bedrock of a happier life. Focus on what you can control, the most famous Stoic dictum. We cannot control external events, other people's actions, or outcomes. We can only control our own judgments, responses, and actions. Shifting focus from the uncontrollable to our internal choices is the first step to reducing anxiety and frustration. Virtue as the sole good. For the Stoics, the ultimate goal of life was eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or fulfillment, not a fleeting feeling of happiness. The only true path to eudaimonia is virtue, arete, meaning excellence of character, wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. External things like health, wealth, or reputation are preferred or dispreferred, but are not in themselves good or bad. Their value depends entirely on how we use them virtuously. The dichotomy of control in practice. This philosophy encourages embracing fate or reality as it is. By aligning our aims with what is actually possible and accepting what is not, we move in greater accordance with fate, avoiding the internal struggle against reality. Contentment over perfection, narrative over events. From these principles, Brown derives practical advice. Choose contentment. Happiness is found not in the perfect life, but in a contented engagement with your actual life. It's about finding the balance, the X equals Y diagonal, between your ambitions and the realities of fortune. Become the author of your narrative. Drawing on his expertise, Brown emphasizes that we are all telling ourselves stories about who we are and what our lives mean. Much of our suffering comes from harmful or inaccurate narratives, e.g., I am a failure because I didn't get that job. Philosophy gives us the tools to consciously edit these internal stories, taking responsibility for our judgments and thereby reshaping our experience. Part 3. Applying the philosophy from ancient wisdom to modern life. Brown doesn't leave the philosophy in the abstract. He connects it directly to the challenges of contemporary existence. Redefining the goal, tranquility versus virtue. Brown presents Stoicism as a powerful formula for tranquility, ataraxia. However, he also engages with a nuanced philosophical critique. If we pursue virtue in order to feel tranquil, are we missing the Stoic point that virtue must be its own reward? He weighs whether a life focused on avoiding disturbance is the richest form of life available to us. This reflection invites the reader to consider that a happy life might involve embracing a full range of human experience, grounded in virtue, rather than seeking a permanent state of calm. Confronting mortality and embracing the remembering self. The book also tackles profound themes like death, not morbidly, but as a necessary lens for appreciating life. Furthermore, Brown highlights the psychological insight, supported by the work of Daniel Kahneman, about our experiencing self versus our remembering self. The experiencing self lives in the moment, while the remembering self constructs the story of our life. Brown argues we are better served by building a life rich in meaningful experiences and memories, the raw material for a positive life narrative, rather than relentlessly chasing transient pleasures. In the end, it is the mosaic of our memories that gives life its weight and worth. Conclusion: a contrarian path to fulfillment. Happy by Derren Brown is a refreshingly intelligent and contrarian guide. It succeeds not by offering simple 10 steps to bliss, but by providing a deep philosophical reorientation. It swaps the exhausting modern quest for peak experiences and perpetual positivity for the ancient, tested path of wisdom, virtue, and rational acceptance. The book's ultimate message is both challenging and liberating. Happiness is not something you find or achieve. It is a byproduct of living well. It comes from taking radical responsibility for your inner world, distinguishing between what is and isn't yours to control, and crafting a life narrative rooted in character rather than circumstance. By looking past the quick fixes of modern self-help to the timeless insights of Stoicism, Brown provides a compelling roadmap for a thoughtful, balanced, and genuinely happier life.